Are you kidding me? With so many options, how do I possibly pick just one recipe? And welcome back to Cliffieland. This is Week in Country number 155 on our second attempt of cooking the food of every single country in the world. And tonight, up to the nation of Singapore. Singapore, an island nation comprised of one large and a whole bunch of small islands, is located on the south end of the Malay Peninsula, where the Indian and Pacific Ocean meet. It is the world's most populous city-state, and its food is absolutely the stuff of legends. I mean, it is a foodie destination. People take trips there just for the food. And there are a zillion recipes. The cuisine is a combination of the Malay, Chinese, Indian, and a whole bunch of other South and East Asian and even Western flavors. It's all mixed together. It's probably best known for its hawker stands, where you can choose from a whole bunch of different cuisines for a low cost. It is just crazy amazingly good, and finding just one night or one dish to do was a huge challenge. We dealt with this last time, so let's take a look and see how we handled things then. Well, 4 years ago on the Global Cooking Challenge, I had the luxury of being able to cook and stream across 3 nights, and the first night we did what we're doing tonight, and that is a Hainanese chicken rice. I hope I got the pronunciation right. It is sort of like the national dish of Singapore. We consulted with friends who live there and have lived there and picked our dishes, and I wound up with this technically 2 recipes which we combined, and that's what we're going to be doing tonight, mostly focusing on the first one. It is one dish which involves actually 5 recipes, one for chicken and one for sauce and one for the other sauce and one for the rice and one for the broth that becomes a soup. So that's going to be really fun. Looking forward to that. Now, on the other 2 nights, I did a chili crab, which I wound up using soft shell crab instead of Dungeness crab, but it was really delicious, and we served that with mantou, which is a Chinese steam bun, which was so good I made for company later. And the 3rd night, I made a stir-fried noodles as an homage to the street food of Singapore, and that came out really, really well too. But again, what we're doing tonight is the Hainanese chicken rice. So let's take a look and see what all the different things that go into tonight's recipe are. For our Hainanese chicken rice, we'll need, first for the chicken, 1 whole chicken, about 3.5 pounds, preferably organic, 1 tablespoon of kosher salt plus more for exfoliating, 1 4-inch section of fresh ginger peeled and cut into 1/4-inch slices, 2 stalks of green onion cut into 1-inch sections, both green and white parts, 1 tablespoon of Asian sesame oil, 1 carrot roughly chopped, and 4 to 6 blades of pandan leaves, also known as screw pine. Then for the rice, 2 tablespoons of cooking oil like canola, vegetable, or peanut. We're using canola here. 2 cloves of garlic, finely minced. 4 finely chopped shallots. A 1-inch section of ginger, finely minced or grated on a microplane grater. 2 cups of long grain uncooked rice. We're using jasmine rice here. 2 cups of the chicken poaching broth, which will be reserved later. Half a teaspoon of sesame oil, and 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. And then for the chili sauce, 1 tablespoon of lime juice, 2 tablespoons of the chicken poaching broth, which will be reserved later, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 4 tablespoons of sriracha chili sauce, 4 cloves of garlic, and a 1-inch section of ginger peeled. And for the ginger garlic sauce, 4 tablespoons of cooking oil like canola, vegetable, or grapeseed. We're using canola here. 2 tablespoons of grated fresh ginger, 2 cloves of finely minced garlic, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of rice or white vinegar. And for the table, 1 bunch of fresh cilantro and 2 cucumbers thinly sliced or cut into bite-sized chunks. That looks really good. Now, word of warning, the recipe, again, linked in the About section, that we're using is a little bit sketchy. It didn't say where a couple ingredients actually go. We tried to figure that out on the fly. Also, I added a couple ingredients from the other recipe I used, mainly the carrots and the pandan leaves, because I love the flavor and scent of pandan leaves. So, it's time to get cooking. In a bowl, wash the chicken and rub the outside with 2 tablespoons of sea salt. Season the inside and outside of the chicken with salt. Stuff the chicken with the green onions, ginger, carrots, and pandan leaves. Put the chicken in a large pot and cover with water at least 1 inch over the bird. Add the sesame oil and bring it to a boil. Immediately turn the heat to low and let it simmer. Skim off the fat with the strainer as it cooks. One recipe called for using this skimmed fat in the rice if desired. Then remove the 2 cups of chicken broth for the rice cooking. Simmer for 45 minutes or until the internal temperature hits 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Meanwhile, move to the rice. Place the rice in a bowl of water and let it soak for 10 minutes. Heat the canola oil in a saucepan over medium heat, then add the shallots, garlic, and ginger, and saute until fragrant and golden. Drain the rice, add the rice to the saucepan, and mix well until coated. Transfer to a rice cooker, and add the reserved chicken broth, salt, sesame oil, and optionally a few knotted pandan leaves. Cover and start the rice cooker. Then move on to the chili sauce. Into a blender, place the lime juice, 2 tablespoons of the chicken broth, sugar, garlic, ginger, and add the sriracha chili sauce. Blend until smooth and set aside. Then move on to the ginger garlic sauce. Heat the oil in a small saucepan over medium heat and add the garlic and the ginger and saute for a few seconds until fragrant. Add the salt and vinegar and mix well and set aside. Then, once the chicken is ready, using a plate or a spider, carefully lift the chicken out of the broth. Immediately place the chicken in a large bowl of ice water and let it rest in the water for 10 minutes. Transfer the chicken to a cutting board and cut into pieces. Remove the pandan leaves from the rice and discard. Fluff the rice with a fork, plate servings of the rice, plate servings of the chicken on top, drizzle with the garlic ginger sauce, plate ramekins of the chili sauce alongside, dress the plate with sliced cucumber, and then into soup bowls, ladle servings of the chicken broth, and dress the soup with cilantro, and serve. How did that all turn out? Well, it was out of this world. It was phenomenal. It was one of the best dishes we've done overall. I can't say enough good things about it. It was technically one recipe, but again, there's like 5 different pieces to it. So, starting with the chicken part, that was so delicious. It was perfection. It was juicy and tender. Exfoliating that skin with the salt really did an amazing job on it. It had those flavors of the garlic and ginger in it. It was just crazy, crazy good. As for the sauces, the first sauce that went on top was very nice. It was different than what we did last time, because last time we wound up getting our own chilies and making a sauce. But, this time it was very nice, loved it. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough for leftovers of that one. And in terms of the chili, the hot chili sauce, that one again we used from this first recipe, not for what we did last time. And that was super hot. I mean, I like hot food, I like spicy food, we love spicy food, but this was like insanely hot, so a little goes a long way on that. And then the broth, the soup broth was very nice. It felt like just the perfect thing if you had a cold. It was a nice chicken broth. I probably could have put in some of the carrots and whatever that had come out of it to make it even better, but it was really nice. But the star of it all, aside from the chicken itself, was that rice. That rice was the best thing ever. It was really the best rice I've ever made. The scent of the pandan leaves, the garlic and ginger and shallots, and it was just, and the chicken broth. It was the best rice ever, so that entire dish gets 5 out of 5 globes. Just really complicated and hard to do, but it doesn't take that long to cook, and it was just the best. So thank you, Singapore. So that does it for this short stint in Asia. We'll be in Europe for a couple weeks next week when we head to Central Europe to have the food of Slovakia. See ya then. And remember, if you'd like to be advised when these videos are posted, please be sure to follow us on Periscope. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Like and subscribe if you'd like to be advised when these videos are posted, and be sure to hit that bell to get those notifications. Remember, links to the original recipes can be found in the About section. If you have any thoughtful feelings or helpful suggestions about the food we're eating, please be sure to sound off in the comments. Thanks for watching and happy eating!